Hey folks, FJB3 here, the Wrestling Nut. More content for geeks. If you watched last night's Raw, here are my takeaways from the show. But first, I believe it's extraordinary that main event Jey Uso and Logan Paul aren't booked for Backlash. I thought that was a booked match. Unbelievable that they're elongating this story, but here's the show and my takeaways. So, Paul Heyman confronts Jey Uso in the ring. I'm a huge fan of Paul Heyman, one of the best storytellers of all time, but this was a wordy, meandering soliloquy that was just exposition for what will happen later in this show. Moving on. Okay, so we get Penta in action. Love Penta, okay, against JD McDonough. Great worker. And this was solid, folks. But what it led to is more important is a book match for Backlash between Dominic Mysterio and Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. That's fine. Penta's not winning. Moving on. So Sheamus is back, folks. Big fan of Sheamus. Anything he does is cool. Most underrated wrestler ever in the WWE. More Sheamus, please. Moving on. All right, so we get Karrion Kross, and man, people love Karrion Kross on the internet, and he talks again. I don't love him because all he does is talk, but he is getting over, and I respect that, and he's calling his fans the bad guy, which is pretty cool. Let's see what he does moving forward. Moving on. Like I said, the women shine, folks. That's where the action is. So Valkyrie and Becky Lynch had another, battle of words, and what we got here is a solid, sensible, well-executed story that elevates the Intercontinental Championship. That match is booked for Backlash, and that should be decent. Okay, this is how it works, folks. Moving on. The women again. Oh, man. Io Sky, Roxanne Perez. Great, great, great workers. We get that on TV, which was great. Okay, the women shine. When you have Roxanne Perez, Giulia, and Stephanie Valkyrie on your NXT and they're superstars already, the women's division is looking bright. Moving on. We get Rusev in a squash match against Otis. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's see what they do with the Redeemer moving forward. I don't know. I like Rusev. I think there's a lot you could do with him, but right now it's really bland for me. Moving on. Okay, we get Pat McAfee confronting Gunther. I'll do a separate video about some of this stuff, but this was extraordinary because Pat McAfee looked so silly. I'm not even going to comment on him, but beyond, he's going to kick Gunther's ass and make him, he's too soft, and Pat McAfee's the guy to make him hard again. If Goldberg doesn't come in for the save after Gunther is choking McAfee out forever, then I don't even know what the fuck this angle is. Moving on. All right, so we get to the title match, which any wrestling nut, wrestling geek, wrestling fan knows this is going to lead to shenanigans. And CM Punk does come in with the chair. And I want to comment on CM Punk real quick. I am a huge fan of CM Punk. He's awesome. But man, he looked old. He looked really old and really slow. Now, he swung the chair hard, but let's see, I'm a little concerned about that. Here's the bitch I have about all of this. This just set up an angle for CM Punk, Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. That match to me is a big nothing burger, okay? They're setting that up to protect Jey Uso. It's incredible, the coddling here, folks. So if you like that tag team match, you love this Raw. In addition, this whole Rollins stable, folks, I've been telling you, the only reason I thought this stable was created was to elevate Braun Breaker to the next level in a world title program. But all they got going on right now is that he's dumb and he's the muscle. And I tell you, if they continue with that angle, it's not going to work. They must tweak it. Stop protecting Jey Uso. Elevate Braun Breaker. Okay, folks. Those are my takeaways. Please tell me where I was right, where I was wrong, or what I missed. I will respond to a comment. If you get anything from my content, please like or subscribe. That would be awesome. I do this for the love of the game, the passion for wrestling. I get it right a lot, and I thank you for watching.